Hey guys, Curious here with another review. This time I'll be reading Deluxe Tega Jun from No.1 Sentai Gozyuger. This is the changer of Ring Hunter Garyudo that, similarly to the Tega Sword, can also transform into a Robo. This set includes three things: the Tega Jun itself, one Sentai ring, and one big size ring part. So, let's get started! First up, we'll take a look. They include Sentai ring, which is the Tega Jun Sentai ring. So unlike normal Sentai rings where the base color is metallic gold, in this case it's a pearl white color. You can see it's got some nice red accents, including this notable red X across the top here. Some nice detail on the sides, on the back. And like with all Sentai rings, the normal size ring is basically child-sized, so it can't really fit on adult fingers. But it does include a bigger ring part that can be swept in, so that can more easily fit. Next, we'll look at the Tega Jun on its own. So here we have the Tega Jun, which is a retool and redeco of the Tega Sword, but with more of a gun motif than a sword motif. So you can see that the basic hand design is pretty similar to that of the Tega Sword. I've compared them. They are mostly similar, but you can see that there's different molding for the two, as well as all these various X's adding onto it, which contrasts with the circle theme that the circle or O theme that the normal Gozyugers have, which kind of fits with their ring motif. We got the thumb there. You can see the gun barrel extending out here. You can see these red lines going across the fingers, so they actually end at different points, which is something pretty interesting. So we have this bit extending from the bottom, which is basically like a blade or bayonet, and gives it interesting sense of balance compared to the Tega Sword. Also, it does have some sounds it can make. And you can hear that it has a female voice as compared to the male voice of the Tega Sword. And with no ring out, it does have three phrases similarly to the Tega Sword. One is Garyudo, Ring Hunter Garyudo, and the third one is I desire rings and my son, which is basically just kind of story things. And also, like the Tega Sword, it has a motion sensor, so if you hit, it'll make a sound, and in this case, it's a gun cocking sound. After that, we can use the Tega Jun Sentai ring with the Tega Jun for the transformation. And, just like with the Tega Sword, in order to use the Sentai ring with the Tega Jun, it needs to have the small ring part attached. And then we have the transformation into Ring Hunter Garyudo, which is a pretty interesting transformation, as it's got a kind of gentle melody that then has a bit of dark rock added into it. So after transformation, by pulling the trigger, you now got a gun blasting sound. Of course, we can still do the cocking sound by activating the motion sensor. And then we activate a finisher by pressing and holding the trigger. Following that, we can transform Tega Jun into a Robo. However, just like with Tega Sword, upon starting transformation, it does activate some sound. So, like with that previous review, what I'm going to do is going to run through the transformation twice. One with the power off, so I can show you guys it step by step, and then the second time with the power on to get the full effect. So it starts off pretty similarly to with the Tega Sword. First off, we're going to take the legs and flip them down like this, spin around them 180 degrees, and flip out the feet. I'm going to come up here, spin around to the back. I've got this little piece which will unlatch, and then we'll drop these two pieces down. And midway through, we will bring down the arms, which is done in the same way as the Tega Sword. And a piece flips out here. Then the middle finger here flips down like that. And you set in the Sentai ring and flip the visor to reveal the face. And now we'll get the full transmission with the sound turn on. And here we have Queen Tega Jun. So let's take a look at her up close and personal. So actually before that, we can talk a little bit about her name. Now, Tega Jun is actually something that has a couple of different layers to it. So, it does use the word Jun. However, within that, it also has the word Ju, meaning gun. So, in a similar way of Tega Sword meaning roughly hand is sword, this one means hand is gun. But then the Jun part is also important because it fits in with how she is actually the leader of the series' wedding-themed villains known as the Brideon, and so she's named after the concept of a June bride, and that getting married in June will give you the most prosperity. So, pretty interesting stuff there. Starting off, now see Irene has become a face with some menacing purple eyes, and a more feminine look compared to the masculine Tega Sword. Got the chest, which is mainly the same as the Tega Sword, however, it's now been painted in and detailed to have an X there instead of just being the complete circle. Now she shares the same arms as Tega Sword, however with some nice silver applications as well as some red on it. You can see that she has molded into her hand a gun barrel similar to the Tega Jun. Got some different detailing for the skirt armor. Now the X's go across her leg. We'll have this kind of cape, or in a sense, because she's meant to be a bride, this could also be considered like the veil or train of a wedding dress. And like with Tega Sword, Queen Tega Jun has the same pre-learned articulation of mainly just the arms at the shoulder and the little swivel because of the transformation. Now sound-wise, well, it has the same kind of sound set as Tega Sword Red. So first of all we have the motion sensor sound. And press the trigger for a blasting sound. And then press and hold it for the finisher. which is the June finish. In addition, like with the Tega Sword, the Tega Jun is compatible with all Sentai rings. So for the sake of review, and also for the sake of not making it overly long, I'm just going to show a few key rings with it. First we'll use one of the Gozyuger transformation rings. Now the reason I'm only using one of them is because for the 5 Gozyuger transformation rings, it will make the same sound for all of them, just the only difference will be the color of the light. And when using Sentai rings, unlike with what the Tega Sword does, where it will transform the user into the Red Ranger of that Sentai team or into a Gozyuger, in this case it summons whatever ranger is associated with that ring, in a similar fashion to past Sentai Anniversary series and their rival characters compared to the main rangers. There's also the holding sound here. And what that is instead of a kind of finisher, it then transforms that summoned ranger into a weapon belonging to them. Where it gets more interesting is with the weapon summoning / Robo rings. So first take a sword red ring. So it does actually summon the respective weapons. So there we had the Wolf to Caliber. And it does also activate the sword finish. Then take a sword blue. Leon Buster 50. And the Gatling Burst. Take a sword yellow. Tiro Hammer 50. And Hammer Crush. Take a sword green ring. The Eagle Shooter. Or rather, Eagle Shooter 50 and the Arrow Shoot. And then the Take a Sword black ring. The Unicorn Drill 50. And the Drill Attack. In addition, because she uses the same base as Tega Sword, Queen Tega Jun is compatible with the various Gozyuger weapons and can make use of the rings in Robo mode as well. So we can test those as well. So, first we got the red ring. So the transformation sound is the same, but you will see that the light does match the color of the ring. And so this would give us what you'd call Queen TegaJune Red or Queen TegaJune Deca Claw. And while the basic attack is the same, for the finisher, each one has its own special attack. In this case, it's Bride Blade. Then I have equipped her with the Leon Buster 50, so let's head in the ring. This gives us Queen Tega Jun Blue. And with this I actually want to point out a detail about this that I had admittedly left out of my previous uses with the Tega Sword, which is that for using the Leon Buster 50 with this headrest piece, you actually want to take this little piece that was up here and flip it down over the shoulder. Now that was something that I admit I missed out on. I kind of just didn't pick up on that detail from the show. And admittedly, if you're looking at it from the front, it does not look like this piece should be able to fold out. So that is something that is easily overlooked, I'd say. Then the finisher. Which is Bride Blast. Next I've attached the Tyranno Hammer 50, so let's attach the ring. This gives us Queen Tega Jun Yellow. Then the finisher. Which is Bride Broken. Then I've attached the Eagle Shooter 50, so let's set on the ring. This will make Queen Tega Jun green. And the finisher. Which is Bride Blitz. And finally, I've equipped her with Unicorn Dreidel 50, so let's set on the ring. Which gives us Queen Tega Jun Black. And then the finisher. Which is Bride Brave. And also because it makes use of the same connectors, well, you will have to move these pieces out to the side. You can still achieve rushing mode. And there we go. Overall, probably because of sharing so many similarities to the Tega Sword, the Tega Jun is, in my opinion, equally as impressive. It is pretty cool how they took the same basic kind of hand motif, but changed it from a sword to a gun, and that definitely does help it stand out, as well as having some nice sounds as a changer, and of course being compatible with all the Sentai rings. And then as for Queen Tega Jun, she definitely does stand out as a mech, and, despite the mostly white motif, does still look pretty sinister and evil. And it is quite nice that she's compatible with all the different weapons, so if you have those, that adds on to the playability of this. And what I think is most important and most impressive about this is that this is the first time that a Sentai villain changer item has been released at retail in many, many years. And I think this is definitely thanks in part to probably some success in selling the Boom Boom Killer Robo at retail last year, which I think is, quite standout. And it's nice to see that Bandai is kind of starting to loosen up on their kind of stigma that villain toys don't sell that well, which is kind of why so many of them have been relegated to Premium Bandai in the past many years. And it's nice to see that kind of change, especially because this is definitely an important part of the series, being both the changer for a kind of main rival and one of the key villains, as well as being the main villain herself, in Robo form. And definitely this is something that I can recommend picking up, especially if you are collecting other Sentai rings or other items, because, I think that in this case, being a retool of the original main changer / Robo is good because she gets the benefit of being compatible with all of the things that one can also be used. So if you're a fan of Ring 100 Garyudo or a fan of this mech, I can definitely recommend picking this up. Next time will be part 2 of this review, where I take a look at the sounds of all the different Sentai rings that we've looked at in the past with the Tega Jun. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KF50, writing off.